Alright everybody, it's time. Like I said, I'm going to do Castlevania Bloodlines. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. It's Darian64, and I'm welcoming you to a brand new playthrough. We finished up the first Castlevania last time, and I figured I might as well do another Castlevania game in this collection, so I figured why not do Bloodlines next? I didn't want to do Simon's Quest or even Castlevania 3 because I'm not familiar with Castlevania 3 enough to do that one yet. So I'm like, you know what, let's just do Bloodlines. I like this game. I like Bloodlines. And mainly because someone actually requested me to do it in my comments, so can't really refuse, can I? So we are playing as John Morris, a descendant of the Belmont family. So yeah, that's cool. John Morris is the father of Jonathan Morris from Portrait of Ruin. And his sidekick in this game is Eric Lacard, who also happens to be a descendant of the Belmont family. Oh, I can't believe I took damage right there. And in the Wii game, Castlevania Judgment on the Wii, it was explained that I can't remember. Yeah, it was for some reason in Castlevania Judgment, Eric Lacard is a kid, and he inherits the spear, the Lacard spear from Alucard. I don't know why they made Eric Lacard into a kid in Judgment, but we don't talk about Judgment. That game is very bizarre. It made a lot of stupid character changes, not just design-wise, but personality-wise. I'm not even gonna talk about Maria. Like, dude, like, the game was fun, but the story is a fucking disgrace, man. That game is a disgrace to the story. It doesn't even help either that the character designs in that game were all done by, the artist for Death Note. I forgot his name, but... So yeah, the artist for Death Note did those character designs. So as a result, like, most of the roster looks like they just came out of an emo punk, like, boy band. It's pretty annoying. And here we have a boss that has a pretty bizarre way of attacking. Alright, so we just beat that boss. Oh yeah, so this game is really weird with how its bosses and its stages work. Some stages will have one boss, and some stages will have two bosses, and the stage will keep on going. Which means that, like, let's say if I beat a boss, and if I get a game over, you'd think that the stage would restart after I beat the boss, right? No. If the stage has two bosses, you're starting the stage all over again, whether you like it or not. And you have to fight both bosses again, when you get game over at least. And I'm about to die. Yep, there we go, all because I might as well die right there anyway, because I had low health. But anyway, let's keep going. But yeah, Castlevania Judgment, I'm not going to say it's okay, on the forefront, it's not a bad game. If you want to judge it on its own merits and pretend it's just like a fighting game, it's fun. It does its purpose. It's fine. But looking at it from the Castlevania perspective, it's garbage. I don't like the character designs. I don't like the story. I don't like the personalities of the characters. It's just... Lords of Shadow is better than Judgment, alright? And that's saying something. Lords of Shadow is better. I shouldn't even have to say that. I really shouldn't. Speaking of Lords of Shadow, let's talk about that for a minute. So back in the day, when Lords of Shadow came out, and I think that was like 2009, I was under the assumption that Lords of Shadow was actually attempting to rewrite the story, the origin story of Castlevania. That was my impression. But later on, I found out that the directors of that game said that it was meant to be a spin-off, that it was meant to be its own thing. Like, it's just meant to be a spin-off that has no tie-in with the actual series. So when I found that out, I'm like, okay, good, I can judge it on its own merits then. Because it irritated me that a game like Lords of Shadow would even have the gall to try to shit on the origin story that Lament of Innocence presented. And that was a good origin story. Perfect origin story with Leon, Belmont, and everything. I was pissed that a game like Lords of Shadow was going to come around and try to replace it. But no, Lords of Shadow is another one of the games that, if you judge it on its own merits, it's really good. The gameplay is solid, the characters are good, especially the voice acting. The voice acting is really good. All the characters have this accent like they're actually in Europe, and I like that. They don't sound like English dub anime characters like they were in Lament of Innocence, because you have Leon Belmont, who's voiced by I forgot his name. He's voiced by Kakashi in the English dub of Naruto. But in Lords of Shadow, the voices sound pretty authentic, and I like that. But again, from a Castlevania standpoint, I can't say I like it because it essentially tried to rewrite the story. Spin-off or not, it's rewriting the story. It's trying to make up its own origin story for Castlevania by making Dracula into a Belmont, by making Alucard and Trevor the same person, which they're not. There's a few design changes I don't like. But yeah. Overall, Judgment and Lords of Shadow are fine games. They're fine. But as a Castlevania fan, I'll pass. I'll pass. I'll pass. I forgot to turn on the stopwatch for my phone. That way I can tell how much time I've been going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode here. And I'm going to continue off like right away. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Later.